Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on this video. My name is Chris. Disney gave me the chance to watch Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers early, and in this live-action hybrid movie following the iconic pair Chip and Dale, they discover that an old co-star of theirs has gone missing, and it's up to them to find him before something disastrous happens to him. That's all pretty much say without giving any spoilers. You guys, this will be a spoiler-free review. I'm not gonna beat around the bush. You need to see this movie. Oh my god, Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers is gonna be one of those underrated, straight-to-streaming movies that everyone should be talking about. Some of you might have seen the trailers for Chip and Dale and thought to yourself, whoa, this actually looks kind of fun, looks like it could have a couple of good jokes in there, but it could also just be very cringy and dumb, and plus, I didn't even watch Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers as a kid, so I'm not gonna understand it. Get that all out of your mind right now. You do not have to have seen Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers as a kid or grown up with the IP to love this movie. But if you did grow up with Chip 'n Dale, there's a little stuff thrown in there for the hardcore fans. But by no means is it required viewing. All you really have to know for Chip 'n Dale is how current animation and just modern movies are made, because at the end of the day, this film is a parody of them. And that's where this movie just really shines, where it's making fun of other Hollywood movies. Because I'm telling you, no property, studio, or whatever is safe in this film. Almost every single one of them get made fun of, from Marvel, DC, Pixar, Disney. Like, I couldn't believe some of the jokes they were throwing out here, knowing it's a Disney movie on Disney Plus, and I'm thinking, they let them say that about their company? Chip 'n Dale. That's where I want to go ahead and give props to the director of this movie, Akiva Schaffer, who you might know as a member from The Lonely Island. This man has actually probably directed some of your favorite movies, from Hot Rod to Pop Star Never Stop, Never Stopping. I don't know what it is about The Lonely Island sense of humor, but it just hits a chord with me, and I could not stop laughing throughout this movie. They know how to handle parody and making fun of other things without it just being dumb or kind of in the vein of some of those later on parody movies, you know, like Epic Movie or Disaster Movie. Sure, we liked those as a kid, but if you try watching them now, they're filled with like weird pop culture references that were so dated for the time. Here they actually get really clever with their jokes, poke fun at Hollywood. I could not tell you how pleasantly surprised I was with this movie. Like, seriously, you have to be wanting to hate this movie to end up not liking it. I even like the creativity involved with this movie, because there are so many different animation styles, and I'm not even just talking about like hand-drawn animation or CGI animation. They go from claymation characters to Muppet-like characters to freaking sock puppets. Like, they have it all in this movie. But look, let me tell you, the real things that'll get people talking and going crazy about this film is the cameos. Not only is this movie already entertaining, funny, witty, clever, all on its own, the cameos in this film will just bring such a huge smile on your face, because it's the type of movie where you're watching and characters are talking, but then like a million other things are happening in the background. You're like, oh, I know that one, I know that one, oh, look at that guy. And that's all fun and nice. But I'm gonna tell you right now, there is one cameo in this movie I could not believe happened, that as soon as it came up on screen, I was eating my popcorn at home, because that's where I had to watch it, and I'm just eating my popcorn, enjoying this movie so far, and then I'm like, oh my, how did they get that character into this movie? That is unbelievable. Please watch this movie day one, because you are going to want to be surprised with that character, because if you don't see it the first day this movie comes out, it's gonna be ruined for you, because it's the type of cameo that's gonna be everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. People are gonna be going crazy about this cameo, and I think you guys are gonna love it. So putting that aside, I'm gonna be honest with you guys and say there isn't really any negatives I could come up with for this movie. It is just such an entertaining blast that anything bad I could think about would be such tiny little nitpicks. Like, maybe the story is a little bit predictable. If anything, I think the movie's too short. I would have loved like 30 more minutes of this nonsense. But the biggest heartbreak is this movie should have gone to theaters, because I think it would have been a big hit. But I guess it's understandable, because there are people thinking they have to have seen Chip 'n Dale as kids, or they have a bad taste in their mouths for movies like Ready Player One, Space Jam 2, where it's just them throwing different IP characters and going, look, nostalgia, when this movie handles it so much better. Like, in terms of Looney Tunes Back in Action or Who Framed Roger Rabbit, this movie deserves a high pedestal, and it's not just throwing different nostalgic things at you going, you remember this? You like this cameo? They use those cameos and those little Easter eggs and make them such a fun part of the story where it feels right and not like it's just being shoved in your face like Space Jam 2 did. Even though I had a good time with Space Jam 2, Chip 'n Dale does it so much better. So for Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers, I'm gonna give action 3.5 stars. There is a lot going on, and they get so unique with all the different art styles they have. Like, there's one fight scene in here involving a claymation character that I'm like, oh, this is awesome. This is something I would not expect it to see here. Comedy in the movie, I'm gonna give it 4.5 stars. I was dying of laughter, okay? I know comedy is subjective and we all have our different point of view on humor, but The Lonely Island and what they do here, my stomach was just hurting by the end of this movie. Drama in the film, I'm gonna give it 3.5 stars. The story's pretty simple. It's just Chip and Dale trying to find their co-star, getting into some hijinks along the way, but there is a sentimental factor in here, and I just gotta give them props for all the clever jokes. Horror in the film, I am gonna give it 1 star, and that's because there is a theme going on with these missing cartoon characters in this movie that maybe if you have a little kid, it'll frighten them to what they're doing to these cartoon characters, because there was a part of me that I thought it was a little dark, so maybe just be warned on that aspect, parents. And suspense film, I'm gonna give it 3 stars. It's a fun, entertaining movie, but it can be predictable at times. Casual fans, I'm gonna give it an A+. Cinephiles, I'm gonna give it an A+. And critically, I'm going to give it an A+. Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers deserves the 3C guarantee. I really hope I'm not overhyping this for you, but I think either way, you're still going to get an absolute blast from this movie. It's going to be so much fun, and you know what? I think I'm going to be talking spoilers once this movie releases on May 20th, because there are just so many wonderful Easter eggs and great moments I want to discuss here that obviously I don't want to ruin in this video. So be sure you guys leave me your thoughts on Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. Will you be watching the movie? If you have seen the movie, what did you think of the film? Anything and everything, be sure to like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.